Most people configure their NAS wrong from day one, and the damage is invisible until it's too late. Nearly 4,000 real owners helped rank these 5, and one of the most recommended picks is hiding documented reliability problems you won't find on the spec sheet. A misconfigured NAS doesn't just fail quietly. It takes your photos, your backups, and your shared storage down with it. Price alone won't save you. The cheapest pick here costs $190, the priciest $410, and the ratings don't line up the way you'd expect. Number 5, the Buffalo Link Station 220 at around $285.99, and it ships with two 2TB drives already installed, which sounds convenient until owners report constant connectivity dropouts and drive failures with no recovery path. At 4 TB across 2 bays, RAID support is there, but the included drives aren't NAS-rated hardware, and many owners describe transfer speeds around 200 kilobytes per second, painful for anything beyond light, occasional backups. The verdict is blunt. Treat this as a secondary, non-essential, backup only, not your primary redundancy. If reliability is the whole point of owning a NAS, the next option is a completely different conversation. Number 4, the Ugreen DH2300 at around $227.99 markets itself as the beginner's easy button, 2 bays, up to 64 terabytes capacity, 125 megabytes per second read speed, and 4 gigabytes of RAM on board. That transfer rate is real, and for consolidating phone photos and device backups onto one centralized hub, it genuinely delivers. No Docker, no virtual machines, and RAID support is basic. Fine if backup redundancy is all you need. Not fine if you're treating this as primary storage. The problem is reliability. Owners are split, with documented reports of unit failures and Starlink compatibility issues that Ugreen hasn't cleanly addressed. Solid entry point for simple backup duties. But if your data actually matters, the next pick changes the calculus entirely. Number 3, the Synology DS218 at around $409. And here's where the marketing actually holds up. Synology's DSM software is the reason serious home users pay the premium, and 531 owners averaging 4.7 stars say the setup is genuinely painless and the performance real. The quad-core 64-bit processor with 2 GB DDR4 RAM delivers 112 megabytes per second reads and writes, which means multiple family members pulling files simultaneously without the whole thing choking. A maximum single volume of 108 terabytes gives you room to grow for years. The catch: Docker isn't supported on this model, so if you plan to run containers alongside your storage, that's a hard wall. Freelancers who want redundancy and a clean multi-user experience without building a lab will find this earns every dollar. Bad firmware support turns that upfront cost into a sunk one. Warranty trust isn't optional when you're betting your data on it. Number 2, the Synology DS223J at around $189.99 diskless, and that price is the whole argument. 2 bays, a compact 0.87 kilogram chassis, and Synology's DSM software underneath, which is genuinely the most trusted home NAS operating system available right now. Owners report setup taking 5 to 10 minutes, and the interface gets consistent praise across 857 reviews at 4.5 stars. The honest catch: video playback throttles to around 15 to 20 frames per second for some owners. So if Plex is your primary use case, this processor will frustrate you. For centralized backups, photo libraries, and multi-device redundancy on a real budget, this is the pick that earns its spot. Number 1, the winner, the Ugreen DXP 2800 at around $369.95. 2 bays plus dual M.2 NVMe slots push the ceiling to 80 terabytes, which is serious capacity for a home setup. Under the hood, an Intel N100 quad-core CPU paired with 8 gigabytes DDR5 RAM, and owners confirm it genuinely saturates a 2.5 gigabit connection at 334 megabits per second. That is not a marketing number. That is what buyers are reporting. For creators running Plex, Docker, or virtual machines, the hardware actually delivers. The honest flaw: Some owners report intermittent connection drops with no clear cause, and at least one documented hardware failure hit a warranty refusal at 10 months. Ugreen is building a real ecosystem here, but it is still maturing. Buy this if the specs match your workload, and you have a solid backup strategy behind it. Synology's DSM firmware and proven redundancy architecture make the DS223J and DS218 the safer long-term bets for continuous backup loads. Ugreen wins on raw specs and price, but maturing ecosystem support is a real variable. Nearly 4,000 owner reviews across these 5 picks tell you where the trust actually sits. Family photos and documents belong on the DS223J, proven redundancy, DSM firmware, best reliability per dollar. Serious performance needs push you to the DS218. But chasing raw specs without firmware trust is exactly how a $300 purchase becomes a $300 mistake. All 5 links are in the description. Prices move, so check there for today's number. Which one did you go with?